All right, well, let's get to it. We've got Tanner and Jacob Groves on now, fresh off signing with Oklahoma after a great season for both of them at Eastern Washington. So, Tanner and Jacob, thanks so much for coming on. We'll start off with a question that we have started asking all our guests, and it's not basketball related at all. But as we say, it's a very important question. What is the best and worst meal that you've had on the road in your career?
Hmm.
Best and worst.
I'd say for me, I'd say the best meal we had one time in Arizona. We had a Benihana type meal, and that was real good. And then worst, there's been a couple times where we've had like Outback Steakhouse, and I'll get like the surf and turf, and then we'll have a practice or something, and then we'll show back up to the hotel, and the food had been like already cooked, so it'd been sitting there for a while, and the steak is a little chewy. But that's probably mine, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say for me, definitely the best was probably a few years ago. Well, last year actually. I guess I can't say that anymore. No, so after we played St. Louis, we were down in Missouri, and we had a van go to Salt and Smoke Barbecue, I think it was called. It was just a barbecue spot down in like downtown St. Louis, and so we went there, and then we found out that they were like what was it, like world champs at like their mac and cheese was like the best in the country or whatever. They had like a couple titles up on the wall saying they had the best mac and cheese, and so we obviously had to get it. And man, they're not kidding. They had the best mac and cheese I've ever had. Literally everything there was just unbelievable. And then I'd say for the worst, it was it's not even bad. It's just, I feel like Jimmy John's, we just have it so much after every single game that by the end of the season, you're like, I don't even want this. Like, I'm so sick of it. And so I would say just towards the end of the season, it was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I got nothing against Jimmy John's. I like it, but when you have it, 4 times a week, it gets old, man. It gets old.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel that
it's a good thing we're not sponsored by Jimmy John's over here. Kind of going on to the play over at Eastern Washington. Tanner, you had obviously an incredible season in Big Sky play. Culminated in you getting a Big Sky Player of the Year. At what point did you feel like that you had kind of made that step to being the top player on your team in the conference overall?
I don't know. I mean, I think, first game against Washington State when we only had 6 guys, I kind of went out there and played with a lot of confidence. I kind of felt that the coaches were giving me a lot of confidence, and a lot of our guys were relying on me to score the ball just because, I was posting up and they were feeding it to me. And so, I think like within the first few games of the season, there was kind of a shift in my mindset. Like I was just another guy out there to, I gotta embrace the role of, scoring for our team and being a leader on our team. But yeah, I think that I don't even know what game it was, but there was a couple games. I think first game of the regular season against Northern Arizona. I think I have like a double-double, 20-point double-double or something. And from there I was kind of running, and I just kind of felt that, if we wanted to do great things as a team, then I'm going to have to step up and, fill the role that obviously Mason Peeling had last year of, the Big Sky MVP. So I had to do my best to fill it, and I was able to, kind of contribute in a similar way that he did. So that was really cool.
Yeah. And Jake, I was looking through my old articles when I was at Eastern to see like when the first time was that I talked to each of you guys. And for you, it was actually only 18 months ago. And it was an article about what it's like to be a redshirt, which is pretty crazy. That's just 18 months ago. There's some injuries, and then you get thrown in, obviously, as a true freshman. You don't redshirt. Now, 18 months later, you're headed to Oklahoma. And in between that, there's a conference tournament canceled, COVID, Big Sky title tournament appearance. So if I told you all of that would happen, or all that would be coming your way 2 years ago when, you graduate from Shadle Park, what would you say?
Oh man, I'd be thrilled, obviously. I never even really thought about this stuff. I mean, I thought that I was coming into Eastern as a, just a kid who was kind of have to work his way up and who was going to redshirt and kind of figure some things out, get used to playing college basketball, and then, slowly make his way into the lineup and then hopefully be a good player by my senior year. But, things happen for a reason, man. You hit it. I mean, COVID along with some guys going down, and it wasn't as much that, but it was just a lot of it played into just how I developed as a player, I think, and what we needed on the court. And I just got, so much better, which is just a huge shout out to our coaches. You know what I mean? They just were in the gym with us every single day and we were getting better. And so, Jake 2 years ago definitely wouldn't have believed it. He wouldn't have believed it. Even if you had told him that I'd spend 4 years at Eastern and grad transfer somewhere else, he never would have believed something like that. And so it's just crazy to think about, man. It's, there's a lot. We've come a long ways in the past 2 years. It's just, it's been awesome. I mean, crazy.
Question for both of you guys. Do you have like a favorite game that you've played at Eastern, whether it be team wise or personally? Are there any games that stand out for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Kansas game is tough to beat.
Yeah.
But that easily tops everything. But I mean, outside of that game, I'd say, I'm trying to think.
I think just the conference tournament itself was pretty special for us. I mean, that was the first time we've done that, or like our crew. I mean, you look at guys like Coach Leggins and even guys in Tanner's class have been. They've been to 3 championships, and that was the first one that they'd won. And so it was just such a special day for them and just for all of us. I mean, that's you sit down with a team at the beginning of the season and you just talk about what your goals are and everything, and that's everybody's goal. And so it was just so cool for us to be able to actually figure that out and play good at the best time of the year, at the most important time of the year, and then obviously make it to the NCAA tournament. I mean, you talk about that stuff at the beginning of the season and only one team can do it. So just, finally giving the guys in Tanner's class that have lost in that game, just the feeling of it was pretty cool and pretty special for us. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
For me, like I'd probably say like the same thing. The championship game was obviously really special. But just touching on another game, in my career, that was a lot of fun. I'd say it was probably when we beat Belmont at home last season. That was a big time program win for us because, Belmont is typically a tournament team and they're kind of known as a powerhouse in mid-major college basketball. And so that was a pretty fun win for us too, just because everyone kind of contributed to that win, and a lot of guys kind of came out of their shell that game, and we were able to, kind of flourish as a team. So I'd say that one was a lot of fun for me too.
Yeah, and obviously being an Eastern student myself, and being with the Easterner in the sports journalism world, I've followed you guys since the start of both your careers. Not necessarily the same for these two other guys. John, what was your first exposure to specifically Tanner? This is a funny story.
So not this past year, but the year before, it was the year you were coming off the bench behind Pete Ling, Tanner. There was a game on a Friday night, right as like Christmas break started. And so Drew was like, hey, do you want to come up for the weekend? I was like, oh yeah, for sure. And so I was able to go up. I went to your guys' games. You guys were playing just like a cupcake non-conference schedule game. And then you had a dunk that ended up on the Sports Center top 10, number 1. And it turns out that school was the school I went to at the time. So I got to go up there and watch my guys get destroyed. I think Mason had like 55 or something in the game.
Yep.
And then you had the dunk, and it was a crazy game. And then I know the best player on the team was from Spokane, so kind of nearby. So it was kind of a cool like homecoming for him. But yeah, I got to be able to go up there and see your Sports Center top 10 play.
That's awesome. Yeah, that game was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I know you told me a little bit about it last year, but I know, what was that night like after the dunk? looking through all the memes and the comments and stuff like that?
Yeah, it was definitely hilarious. You know, we had a few friends over, so we were kind of just sitting around, hanging out and just scrolling through Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that, and just kind of reading all those comments. It was just hilarious. That that was definitely a lot of fun. Kind of my first exposure with, you know, the national news, the social media things. So that was definitely kind of a cool thing.
So obviously now you've basically gone viral twice, first with the dunk and then both of you guys after the tournament with all the Barstool love and the national love. So two-parter, which time were the jokes and the memes funnier? And then which were some of your favorites?
What's that? Can you say that again?
Yeah, sure. So which time? So obviously you've gone viral twice now, basically. Once with the dunk and once after the tournament, both of you. So which time were the jokes in the comments funnier that you saw? And which ones do you think were your favorite?
I thought the Kansas game was the best just because it was kind of both of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was just a bunch of funny stuff out there talking about, you know, Jake as Napoleon Dynamite, and
Yeah.
a lot of people were saying I was like Abraham Lincoln and Will Ferrell, semi-pro, all kinds of stuff. Bill Walton was there was a lot of funny ones. I'm trying to think. Do you have what did you think?
I mean, I don't. It was all pretty good. I mean, it's stuff like that. It's hard to get mad at stuff like that over the internet. I mean, it's too good. You look at guys like Bob Menry, who, you know, he posted a video about me, and I was just, you know, stuff like that's just too good. I mean, it's funny to just kind of go through some of the comments and read just what people have to say, and it's just the whole time you're just getting put on blast, and so it's hard not to laugh at that stuff. I mean, no, it was pretty funny though.
Actually, now that I think of it, I think my favorite thing that I saw was Twitter. I forget what reporter it was. I think it was like an ESPN or like college basketball reporter. I forget what he said. I think he said like it was a picture of Jake and then T-Rob, and it was like these guys are gonna kill it at LA Fitness in like the men's league or something like that. That was probably like one of my favorites.
That's good.
That's good.
That is funny.
I think the Napoleon Dynamite and the Abraham Lincoln one that you said, that was one of them that I saw, and I'm like, yeah, that one is good. That one, especially the screenshot that they took of both you guys in it, it looks so much like it.
It was
So good.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, Eastern coaching staff question. So obviously this is from last year, the 3 assistant coaches. And I know all 3 of these guys, so you can totally put them on blast. So out of Bobby Suarez, TJ, and Dave Riley, one lives with you in quarantine and is with you the whole time. One you only see at practice and games, and one you only see remotely. How do you divvy them up?
That's tough. I don't know.
I'm not living with TJ. I can't live with TJ. Definitely not him. It'd have to be. I'd have to be quarantined with Dave or Bobby.
Yeah, I'd probably quarantine with Dave. I don't know.
See, I'd probably quarantine with Bobby. I don't even know. That's so tough. I couldn't. Man, I don't even know. Those guys are like, I don't even know. Those guys are. I hope they're lifelong friends. Obviously, I mean, we kind of broke their heart, obviously, but those guys are so hard not to like. I mean, seriously, I hope, I really do hope we stay in touch with them and just are lifelong friends. Like I said, I mean, those guys have done so much for us, and so it's just, that's a really tough question. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'd have to sit on it for a while. I'd have to think about it.
Yeah.
If you think of something, just speak up. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
we had Bobby on, like, what was it, our second episode, I think, and he was really cool. I was like, man, he seems like a cool
Bobby's
coach.
cool.
All those guys.
Love all those
super
guys.
chill
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, he was fun. But going to the tournament, that Kansas game where you guys played absolutely phenomenally. What were kind of the expectations heading into that game? Like, kind of what was the mentality? Were you guys just excited to be there? Did you feel confident about that specific matchup? Kind of what was the feeling going into it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that we really liked the matchup with Kansas. They were missing. They had like some COVID protocol stuff going on, so that was kind of a plus for us. They were missing one of their key players, and then another bench guy that played quite a few minutes, and so that was really good for us. Kansas that this last year they weren't particularly known as like a great 3-point shooting team. You know, they obviously have dudes that can really shoot the ball, but you know, our defense at Eastern really thrived when we played teams that just kind of liked to bring it inside and not shoot a lot of threes. And so that was kind of Kansas's game. Obviously, they had big David McCormick, who was, you know, top 5 in usage all year. And so we felt pretty confident with the matchup. I think at the end of the day, you know, it's March, and so a lot of guys hit big shots. Kansas had, you know, a few guys that didn't shoot a lot of threes all year, knocked down some really big threes for them. And we were kind of like, that was our game plan, was to live with that if those guys made threes, which they happened to do, which is, you know, good on them. They're a Power 5 team and really well coached. So, I mean, you know, you can't hate on it at all, but yeah, that was kind of our game plan going into it, was just to pack the paint. And, you know, offensively, we knew that they liked to ice ball screens, which is where the big guy kind of forces everything to the sideline. And so that was where I was able to get a lot of pick and pop threes and take advantage there. And our guards did a super good job of getting downhill on the ball screens, drawing the big guy, which kind of allowed me to get a lot of openings on the perimeter and have a lot of opportunities to shoot the three. And I think, yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, we played a really good game. We obviously we were in it. We were leading for probably more of the game than they were leading. And, you know, we played really good. We hit a lot of big time shots, lost by single digits. And, you know, obviously we would have loved to win that game, but I think that was, you know, one of our better games all year. And I mean, I'm happy that we were able to go out fighting like that.
Yeah, I mean, continuing to talk about the game, both of you guys set career highs in. How early on did it like feel not necessarily like, I guess not like a normal game because it is an NCAA tournament game, but how early on did you kind of feel that things were like heating up and that like, okay, like I'm playing well this game, like how early on were you able to tell?
I think for me, just like after the first 2 minutes, I think I had like 7 points in the first like 2 minutes. And after that, I was like, yeah, it's going to be one of those games, you know? And then once I saw that first 3 go down, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of feeling it now. And so, you know, you see your first couple shots go in and your confidence just goes way up. And I don't know, man, you see a couple shots go in, you just keep shooting them and they just fall. It's just the way basketball works. And so, yeah, after that first couple minutes, and then after I saw that 3 go in, I was like, yeah, we're going to have a game here. Let's go.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'd probably say just, you know, I didn't realize how many points I had at all. I just kept looking at the scoreboard, trying to see, you know, how close the game was. And so I was just playing my game. I didn't even realize I had, you know, 30 at all. I didn't even think about it. I was just playing, and a lot of that came with the free throws that I was able to knock down my free throws. So that helped a lot. It was kind of funny. There was one point during the game. I think it was when Kansas took the lead and they were up by like 10 near the end of the game, and they were shooting free throws, and one of the guys that was next to me just kind of like looked at me on Kansas, and he was like, dude, you gotta like slow down. You're keeping your team in it. You gotta slow down. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, how many points do I have? Because I had no idea. And he was like, bro, you got like 30. And I was like, really? Dang, it's crazy. I completely remember that part of the game. So that was kind of funny.
That's funny.
Oh man,
That's pretty
just
funny.
in too much of a zone.
Exactly. I was like, I didn't know. That's crazy.
Right. So Tanner, you had the edit kind of moving on into the transfer side of this interview. You had the edit of all the teams that reached out to you. How satisfying was that after? I mean, it's fairly well documented at this point that you had the one offer, which was to Eastern Washington when you came out of high school, or D1 offer, I should say. So
Right.
how satisfying was it to see all these other D1 schools reaching out to you all of a sudden that quickly?
Yeah, it was definitely awesome. You know, it was my coming out of high school, it was my dream to, be recruited by, a lot of high major programs. And I was just really lucky enough to get that D1 offer from Eastern. And if I wouldn't have gotten that offer, then I don't know if I would have been able to, develop and turn into the player I am today. And so that was just kind of a blessing that it happened the way it did, to where Eastern was my only offer, and I was just able to, be put in that system where, we were able to, be who we are now. And so obviously it was a dream of mine to, be recruited and, play high major basketball in a Power 5 conference. And so it was definitely really cool to get a lot of love from a lot of the coaches out there. So it was just awesome, a little surreal, definitely pretty hectic and stressful at times, but overall, I'm going to look back on it and be like, dang, that was pretty awesome. So it was a really cool experience for sure.
Yeah, and both of you going to Oklahoma, was there ever much consideration for you guys splitting up?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. At the end of the day, for both of us, we just wanted to find the best fit for us individually, and that necessarily didn't mean that we had to be together. I don't think that, our parents kind of understood that, and our parents were big in the recruiting process as well. But yeah, just like talking it out with one another, we knew that, we didn't necessarily have to go to the same school to, be able to be successful. We wanted to find the best fit for us, and that just so happened to be Oklahoma for both of us. So that was really cool.
Yeah, and how soon after the tournament? Because obviously there's kind of been the mass exodus from Eastern Washington with all the players, or a lot of them at least. When did that kind of become, or did you guys know that was going to be a reality, that situation was going to unfold?
I don't think we had really much clue at all that was how it was going to go down. I mean, we weren't 100% on what Coach Leggins was going to do, and what, if Eastern was trying to keep him or if they were going to move on. And so we really didn't know. We knew that if he went somewhere else, that he would probably try and bring some guys with him, just to kind of, start it's hard to start a new team with brand new guys. And so obviously we figured out to bring some with him. And then we had no clue who would get the head coaching job. I mean, obviously we were all pulling for Dave to get it, because he's very deserving, but we just, we didn't know. And so in that time where, Legs was obviously going to Portland and Dave hadn't been named the head coach yet, we just had a lot of guys who wanted to go in the portal and just see what was out there, just kind of look at their options, because obviously you have a team like us who just had a really, really good year. It's hard for guys not to like put their name in and just see what else is out there. You know what I mean? I think everybody has dreams of playing basketball at the highest level. And so we just, you got guys who are just questioning, could I be playing at this, at a bigger college, at a bigger school, in a better conference, and in a lot of things. And so it was just, a lot of things went into that. And I wouldn't say we necessarily saw it coming from the beginning, but once things got hectic at Eastern, and once Legs left, and we didn't know who our coach was going to be, there's no doubt that the right decision was for some guys to jump in the portal and just see what else is out there.
Right. I think with our team, 75% of the guys that were on our team were recruited by Coach Legs. Me, Jack Perry, and Kim Aiken are three of the guys that were, almost part of that Hayford era, because, we were offered when he was still the head coach. So we were expecting him to be our head coach. But throughout the whole recruiting process, Coach Leggins was the main guy that recruited, myself, Jack, and Kim. And so, when your head coach leaves, It's not that weird that a lot of guys, for me, it wasn't that weird that a lot of guys, decided to jump ship because Coach Legs was the guy that recruited, 75% of the guys on our team. And so that's kind of how I saw it, I guess.
Did teams start reaching out to you like directly after your tournament game, or like was there a waiting period between?
Yeah, there's definitely a waiting period. I think it's
Okay.
some sort of violation. Yeah, I don't think other coaches can recruit you while you're not in the portal. But
Right.
yeah.
Oh, gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
When did you guys enter the portal exactly again?
Friday, I think.
Yeah, the Kansas game was on Friday,
it was on a
Saturday, and then we entered that following Friday.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, obviously you see so many guys entering the transfer portal. What do you guys, I guess, think about that? I mean, the people that are pros for it, I mean, including myself, it's just the guys that are for it see it as a way to just move up a level in a way that hasn't been there in the past. People that are against it might say, oh, someone's betraying their school, being disloyal, what have you. Why do you think it's been working so well for so many people? Obviously, it's a free year. You can just jump ship without having to redshirt. And then what would you say to people who kind of see the opposite side of it?
Yeah. Well, I definitely think, this is kind of my take on the transfer portal. I think that there's a lot of positives and a lot of negatives to it. In our situation, I thought, like I said, Coach Legan's leave, that was kind of guy that recruited going to a different school, so we're going to enter the transfer portal, and if anything, we're going to follow him, and so that was my thoughts. But just the whole transfer portal, I think it's a really good opportunity for a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that get under recruited in high school and really kill it at the mid-major or low major level of Division I basketball, and kind of show their worth, and then they're able to move up to a school that fits their play style and fits where their goals align, what school aligns with their goals. And so that's like a big positive. I think a lot of players are able to find the best fit for them. And a lot of people, a lot of players get criticism for entering the portal, but at the end of the day, you really have no idea what's going on with that individual player or what's going on with the program and the coaching staff until you're really part of it and really see what's happening. And so it kind of sucks that a lot of people kind of get backlash for that. But at the end of the day, as long as the player thinks it's the right decision, then, I'm all for it. So there's that. But on the other side, I definitely think there's some negatives as well. I think a lot of guys think that the grass might be greener somewhere else. They might not have gotten playing time at a school, and they're like, man, screw this. I'm going to go to see if I can go play at a different school. And then it just doesn't work out, So I think it's kind of a negative in that sense. I think a lot of those players, you could take me for an example. I played under Mason for 2 years before I was able to, finally get a starting spot and average like over 10 minutes a game. I think I averaged 5 minutes a game and then 9 minutes a game my freshman and sophomore years playing. But I was playing behind Mason, who was an incredible player. He was a stud, and I was just learning from him every day. And I could have easily said, screw this, I want to enter the transfer portal and find a spot where I can play right away. But instead, I was like, no, I'm going to stick it out because I know exactly what I'm going to get. I know that once Mason's gone, I'm going to have the keys to the center position, and I'm going to be able to flourish. So I think a lot of guys, expect that they're going to get playing time right when they enter college, but it just doesn't work like that. So there's definitely positives and negatives to the transfer portal in that sense.
Yeah, and looking forward to your guys' time at Oklahoma, are there any specific skills you're looking to add to your game there, or is it more like basketball, just general basketball? If that question makes sense, I can rephrase that.
Yeah. No, I think for me that I just kind of want to continue. I think my body needs a lot of work. Going from I was just starting to kind of catch up with guys and be able to hang with guys in the Big Sky, and now I'm jumping to the Big 12, which is obviously arguably the best conference in the country. And so, just bigger, faster, stronger for sure. I want to continue to just work on my guard game, working with the ball in my hands, coming off ball screens, and then everything else, I think will just fall into place. I mean, I think that we're set up in a position where we're working with a coach who is incredibly good at turning mid-major guys into guys who can compete on the biggest stage in the country. And so just like, Coach Moser did it at Loyola. And so it was, I just think that we're going to continue to develop and just kind of add some more stuff to our games and just kind of, be really, really complete basketball players, which will be cool.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, I'd say, they utilize their centers a lot in their offense. And so offensively, I'd say that I need to get up. I'm excited to, work on my playmaking ability. That was a big thing for their centers just because the ball goes through their hands so much. If you watch the NCAA tournament this year, Loyola Chicago had Cameron Krutwig, and he was, third team All-American, absolute stud. And he was just, obviously killed it. And so I've been watching a lot of his film, just trying to, see what kind of things that I can get good at. And, I can implement into this Oklahoma offense that I'm assuming will probably be pretty similar to the Loyola system. And so, I've been trying to think about that stuff and just in terms of, my playmaking ability, and then obviously want to get a little bit better with the ball in my hands, ball handling, and just continue working on my stroke, getting my shooting percentage up from beyond the arc, getting that up, from like 35 to 4 into the 40s. So just continuing to shoot the ball. And then obviously defensively, I need to, continue to improve there. I think Loyola was ranked #1 defense in the nation the past year or two. And so I'm definitely going to need to work on that as well. So, I mean, I'm just really looking forward to getting down there and working with Coach and just seeing how much my game will develop under him and just this summer. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and what aspect, besides the skills that you both will gain at Oklahoma, what aspect of moving to a Power 5 conference are you guys most excited about?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be awesome. Just the whole facilities are going to be insane compared to Eastern. No bash on Eastern at all, but I'm just saying, it's going to be it's just a different level at Oklahoma. It's going to be awesome. I think that just in terms of that, I'm going to be able to, get into the gym a lot more, have more gym access, and I'm going to be able to work with, there's going to be probably a lot more managers and people to, rebound for you and work with you. And so that's going to be really cool to just be in the gym all the time and work on my game. I think that's just going to be a huge piece of it. And then on the other side, just in terms of being a student, I think, being at a huge university like Oklahoma is just going to be, kind of a shell shock because all we know is Eastern, which is, a small little campus, and obviously haven't been in person that much. But I think it's probably a little different down in the Midwest South area in Oklahoma. So I think the restrictions probably aren't as crazy as Washington. So I think we'll probably be in person more with classes and stuff, and just on such huge campus. And I think, I'm just really looking forward to a change of scenery, one could say.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with them. I mean, just their facilities and just, all the money that they have and put into the basketball program is just unbelievable. I mean, there's no more, flying down to northern Colorado and, getting shoved in a middle seat and having no room for 2.5 hours on a plane. And so I'm really looking forward to that being over. Just, the way that the program is just ran. I mean, I think it's just unbelievable with the facilities and the meal plans, the living spaces, just everything, is such a big step up. It's just going to be so awesome.
Have you guys actually visited the campus yet, or not yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, no, we haven't been down there.
Was obviously you talked about Porter Moser and playing in his system, and we saw how center heavy and how they played defensively in the tournament and the couple runs he had at Loyola Chicago. So obviously that must have been a big influence in your decision to go to Oklahoma. Can you speak to that a little bit? And what were the conversations like with him in the recruiting process?
Yeah, absolutely. I've talked about it before, but it's kind of funny story. How we were able to get into contact. Obviously my Twitter and my Instagram and social media was just kind of going crazy for a while, and a lot of my messages were kind of getting lost. And so one day I was just checking through my through my DMs on Twitter, and I had a DM from one of the assistant coaches, and so I kind of responded because I was like, oh yeah, Porter Moser is going there from Loyola, and I obviously saw the tournament and saw how they used their bigs and how successful they were, and so I responded because I was definitely interested. And then from then on, I was able to just from one of the assistants talking to me, I was able to get onto a FaceTime within about an hour or two with Coach Moser, and we really hit it off right away. He has a lot of energy and passion towards the game, and I just thought that was super cool, and it just really excited me about his program and just the role he had for me. Being able to come in, obviously got to work my butt off to be able to take that role, but I'm hoping that I can do that this summer and just work hard and develop, and be where he sees me being, and that's just, yeah, it was really cool. I obviously watched Loyola a lot in the tournament, in their run to the NCAA tournament, into the Final Four in 2018, and then this year, making it to the Sweet 16. He's been a super successful coach, and I just thought that was really cool. Just the opportunity that for me, being able to take that and hopefully run with it. I'm looking forward to developing under his system.
And let's be honest here, besides Porter Moser and going to a Power 5 conference, the real reason is you guys just want to keep playing Kansas over and over, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I've seen a bunch of that. I've seen a bunch of that on Twitter. A lot of people are commenting some funny stuff like, "Oh no, these guys got to go against us again for 2 more years," like fans and stuff. It's all pretty funny now, but
Yeah.
no, I'm definitely expecting to come into Oklahoma, and it's definitely going to be a shock. I think that both of us are going to be humbled a little bit playing against some of the best talent in the nation night in and night out. So I think that doesn't really scare me. I think it kind of motivates me, and it kind of like excites me to get better, because not only will I be going against all like the guys on my team, I'll be going against those guys every day in practice. They're going to be getting me a lot better, and then just going against the nightly talent in the Big 12, it's going to be insane. That it just really excites me and motivates me to improve my game that much more, just so I can be successful and help our team out and help my personal goals out. So it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Did you guys growing up have any favorite like players or teams? Like did you follow like team specifically, players specifically, just basketball in general?
I was pretty much just a basketball in general guy. I was a big fan of the Celtics when they had the Paul Pierce, KG, and Ray Allen together. That was one of my favorite teams to watch. But when that game kind of broke up, I've always been a pretty big Ray Allen fan. And then just other than just watching basketball, man, I think I'm just a fan of the game. I love watching that.
Yeah, for me, I was definitely a big Sonics fan growing up. Big Ray Allen fan, like Jake said. And also a big Kevin Durant fan, especially when he was at the Sonics for a couple of years. That was really cool. So definitely a big fan of them. I'm actually a huge Oklahoma City Thunder fan too. So I think Norman, where we're at, is only like 20 minutes away from Oklahoma City. That's going to be pretty sick to hopefully be able to, drive down and go to maybe catch a few games, although, they aren't the best this year, but I'm hoping
they will be soon.
I'm hoping that with all those draft picks and with their manager, they got a ton of potential here in the next few years to be pretty dang good. So looking forward to it.
Would you guys talk smack to each other in practice at Eastern or in the driveway at all?
There were a couple times. I mean, that we would face up, and yeah, things definitely got a little heated. I mean, there was one time, it was towards the end of the season, where I was obviously Tanner was inside, and I just kind of crashed in to box out, and I just kind of threw my body into him and knocked him over, and he wasn't too happy about that. So the next time down the court, he set a ball screen and rolled, and just he tried to clothesline me just about. And so after, yeah, it's funny too, because we videotape every one of our practices, and so we were able to go back and just watch it, and yeah, there was definitely some times where things got heated, and I mean, it's just, I think that stuff's obviously good for you. I think it's just having that kind of competitive nature to you is really cool, and I think we both have that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was definitely a few times growing up when our one-on-one games turned into wrestling matches out on grass. So yeah, definitely some smack talk here and there, but we've kind of grown a little bit and matured a little bit since then. But it's
Reel it in.
still comes out every now and then, for sure.
I hear you. Do you guys get tired of asking what it's like to play with your brother?
Actually, every Jake, but yeah, I mean, yeah, we've gotten asked that question, probably 100 times,
Every
especially
interview we do, I swear.
From the start of the year. And I think you were probably the first interview we did with where the brothers interview. I think you were the first one that did that. So
yeah, I gave Collingwood a bad time after he started pushing his article on you guys. So yeah.
Well, this leads me into my next question. What's it like playing with each other?
Like, all right, let's leave the Zoom call.
Exit.
I'm out. No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now we'll close this out. We won't make you answer that one, but we do have some, I guess you could call them sibling tag team questions, where you either answer for the other person or just kind of depending on the question. But starting off, it could either be you guys or your little brother, because you got a little brother. Is he in 7th or 8th grade this year?
He's in 7th grade.
7th grade. All right. Who's your parents' favorite?
Ooh, probably him. 7th grader. I mean, times have changed, man. I mean, we grew up, you get
the wooden spoon.
You get in trouble, you get spanked. You get the wooden spoon, the belt, you get something, man. And he's, he stayed home from school the other day because his tummy hurt. So we were like, he gets babied quite a bit.
Oh man.
So for sure.
What would be the weirdest habit that each of you have?
Trying to think.
Weirdest habit?
Yeah.
For the other person, that might make it easier to answer.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jake likes to leave his dishes out after he, makes food. So that kind of is an annoying habit.
It happens. Once one dish is in the sink, it's pretty easy to just throw some other stuff in there.
Dude, right? I'm with you on that.
You guys probably know just as well as we do.
Oh yeah.
I'd say probably the worst habit that Tanner has is just his sense of urgency around the apartment. I mean, we're always just waiting for him. We got places to be, and we're sitting here like, well, where's Tanner? He just got in the shower. Okay. Yeah, I'd say that's probably it.
That's fair.
That's just Kendall.
Oh man. I was about to say that sounds familiar.
Unfortunately, both of your guys' habits, I have each of those, so not off to a good start.
Who gets more mad after losses?
I don't know. I think it's probably pretty similar. Honestly.
I mean, it's tough. I feel like we're both pretty quick to let things go. I mean, there's always so many things you could say about, oh, we could have done this, could have done that, but you can't go back and change anything. And so you just get to a point where you're like, well, we'll just do it next game. And you're always, we got to, as, basketball players, and you got to have a really short memory. I mean, just next play, next game, next everything. And so we're always kind of looking into the future, and we definitely spend time to be mad and reflect on games, but it's not like, you can't sit on a game forever and let that impact your future games. And so we're usually both pretty quick to get over losses.
Yep, for sure.
Who complains to the refs more?
Probably definitely you.
Yeah, me. 100%.
Definitely.
No, you can kind of see from like, I got a couple T's this year, so one was running my mouth to the ref a little bit, so that was not one of my best moments.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd definitely say me.
Who's got the better style?
Better style.
Oh, no.
Well, this is Jake's style right here. He's got his camo. Jake,
Oh, there we go.
I'm a simple man. I'm telling you, I'm pretty easy to please. I mean, I like to hunt. I like to fish. I like to play basketball. I mean, that's,
There you go. That's all you
I'm
need.
pretty easy going, man.
Yeah.
I don't worry too much about everything else going on around me. I'm pretty simple.
yeah, I'd say it's probably me.
Yeah.
We've gone out to dinner a few times, and Jake will go into our roommate Jack's wardrobe and steal T-shirts just because he doesn't have anything good to wear. Going out to dinner or something, nothing nice to wear. So Jack's like, "What are you doing wearing my stuff, man?" And so that's happened
On those Outback Steakhouse trips.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Oh man.
Who dunked on who first, or even just who was dunking first?
He was definitely.
I was dunking first.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know.
we both dunked on each other a couple times, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, there's not been like
Just like driveway hoops.
straight posters, but yeah, there's been a couple times where he got caught under the rim, or I was trying to get a rebound and he kind of came in out of nowhere for a putback or something like that. That stuff happens.
Yeah.
Jake wasn't dunking until this year.
In games like
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think it was one you had against Montana State. My roommate, who happens to be Kendall's brother, and I were like, "Whoa, Jacob Groves dunk!" Like,
Yeah.
almost red alert.
Oh yeah, that must have been the last year's game.
Yeah, something like that. Oh yeah, there
Yeah.
was that one. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Tanner, Jake, thanks so much for coming on and hanging out with us for a bit today. How can both Eastern fans and Oklahoma fans catch you guys on social media?
At Tanner_Groves is, I think, everything on Twitter and Instagram.
Pretty similar to that. Just Jake.
Just hit me there.
Good old Jake Groves. Just keep it simple. I think that's it.
There you go.
Right.
Yep. Right on.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having us, guys. Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for
Thanks.
coming on, guys.
Yeah, no worries.